What is up, Insaners, and welcome to another video of the Fantasy Premier League 2022-23 season. In this one, guys, we'll talk about our team for Game Week 2. Along with our transfer strategy, we'll also cover the best captain picks to go for in Game Week 2. So stick around, see what we do with our team. If you like what you see today, guys, you can support us by hitting that like button. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel for more FPL-related content. Now with that, let's get into it. Starting with the goalkeeper, guys, we have Raya in goal, who's facing Man United at home. Man United were pretty poor in the last game in Game Week 1 against Brighton. So I think it'll be an interesting watch and there could be a lot of shots. Man United might try to score at least a couple of goals. So he could get some safe points as well. So I'm pretty confident in David Raya. Now coming to our defense, guys, we still have the double up in Robertson and Trent. They're facing Crystal Palace at home. Now something similar to what United face in Game Week 2, I think Klopp would also look for a response from his team. I think a double up in defense looks pretty strong. I'm pretty bullish in terms of the clean sheet potential for Liverpool in Game Week 2, guys. It's against Crystal Palace, who could be a tricky team to play, but Palace are generally not known as great travelers. I mean, they didn't have a great record last season when they were traveling away from home. So that could be an advantage to Liverpool, guys. I think both of them should have a solid game. Let's say if they don't get an attacking return, I think the clean sheet potential looks pretty strong, and I'm pretty happy holding Robertson for now. I don't get that temptation to go for a Diaz or go for a Darwin Núñez just yet. Next week it might change, but I think this week it's pretty okay. We also have Cancelo, who's facing Bournemouth at home, guys. Cancelo had a great game against West Ham in Game Week 1. I think this could be a similar story against Bournemouth. I think there are chances that we might see him in midfield a lot for this game as well. I think that really helps him with his bonus point potential. I think the clean sheet also looks good. I mean, who's to say that he can also get an attacking turn in this game, guys? I think he's a comfortable hold, a comfortable player for Game Week 2. Then we have Gabriel, and this is a very interesting transfer, or this is a very interesting player to kind of talk about, because Leicester are a tricky opposition. I mean, Jamie Vardy has a great record against Arsenal. So clean sheet might not be that comfortable for this game. In fact, if I had Zinchenko instead of a Gabriel, maybe even Ramsdale, I probably would have been a little more comfortable. But anything is possible in football and FPL, and Gabriel can easily get a clean sheet in this one. I think it's an okay hold. I mean, I don't again get that temptation to go to a Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko's position could also be a bit tricky, considering that Tierney is also back in the frame. I mean, there could be some shared minutes there could be some rotation there. And for this week, I think I'm pretty happy holding Gabriel. Coming to our midfield, guys, we have Mo Salah as the number 1 pick. He's the standout option in our midfield. He's also a great captaincy option, and we'll talk about captaincy in just a bit. But he's facing Palace. I know he struggled in the first half against Fulham, guys, but second half, as soon as Darwin Núñez came on, he really came to light, and I think this could be a great fixture. It's at home. It's the first home fixture for Liverpool. And after that struggling performance against Fulham, I think they'll be really motivated. So he's a good and in fact a great pick to go for. In fact, if you don't have him in your FPL team, there is a case to be worried. There is a case to be scared. And probably you should try to get him in your FPL team. Then we also have Martinelli, who's playing Leicester. Now Leicester, we know, aren't a great defense. I mean, last season they were really struggling in defense. They were struggling to keep clean sheets. This season, I mean, it could be a similar story. It's too early to say that. But I think Arsenal are a great attack. That combination, that trio of Martinelli, Saka and Jesus, I think that's going to do really well. And I'm pretty confident of Martinelli's FPL prospects in this game week, guys. He looked really attacking. He should have probably scored one more goal in the last week. But I think there is a high chance that he can get an attacking return, maybe even a couple of attacking returns. We'll have to, of course, wait and watch on that. But I think he's the standout option in that 6 million budget midfielder category, guys. I know a lot of people have been hyping up and talking a lot about the Leeds asset, and they could be options, but I still feel Martinelli playing for a premium team like Arsenal is the standout option to go for. I think we're pretty comfortable there. Now the worry comes as we have Mason Mount from Chelsea, guys. Chelsea had a struggling performance. I mean, they were really battling on the field in terms of how they were playing. They weren't really able to create any chances. They weren't really able to score goals. Mason Mount looked pretty off. In fact, the front three of Chelsea, they all looked pretty off, and I think it's a bit of a worry. But again, we're probably reading in a bit too much, considering it's just one game week, guys. Tottenham by no means is going to be an easy fixture. I think the Tottenham defense has improved a lot over the last season or so. I think there is a chance that Chelsea still might struggle, but again, we'll have to wait and watch. for me personally, I think I'm going to hold Mason Mount. I know a lot of people are transferring him out for the likes of Kulusevski, who's again playing Chelsea, and Chelsea aren't a pushover defense, right? Yes, we've seen them struggling a little bit in preseason in terms of defense, but they can absolutely keep a clean sheet. So I don't understand the Kulusevski transfer too much this week. I mean, he could be a great option next week. But then again, Mason Mount can always come up with a massive haul, with a 15-20 pointer haul. It's just difficult to predict those hauls. But I think personally I'm okay. But if you have to make a move, you can possibly go for a Saka. You also have some other alternates in terms of going for a Man City midfielder, which could be a bit risky. I think that was my thought in terms of, what to do in terms of transfers, because I can go for a Man City mid, but they again aren't really sure. I mean, I'm not sure in terms of which one's gonna start. I mean, Phil Foden has the ability to start on the right. He could possibly even start on the left. Then we have Mahrez and Grealish in as well. We also have Alvarez in the mix, guys. So there's so much confusion at the moment. And I think right now, I'm probably gonna play a little bit safe. I mean, it's an absolute okay strategy if you want to take that chance and chase those potential FPL hauls. But I'm personally not doing it. And I think Mason Mount stays for at least this week. We'll see what to do with him in game week 3. But right now he stays. Then we also have Bailey, and there have been a lot of rumors flying around Twitter in the FPL community that there are chances that he's probably benched this week. I mean, it's too early to say. We've not had any press information, any conferences so far. So there could be a lot coming in. There could be a lot more to digest. But I think Gerrard should probably stick with Bailey. I think Bailey was the best attacking player for Aston Villa, guys. I think he should at least get one more opportunity. At least that's what we feel from an FPL perspective. And I think if he's maybe not starting, I have a bench cover in the likes of Nico Williams and Pereira as well. I'll probably switch Pereira to the number 1 position in terms of my subs, because he's quite attacking. He can get an attacking return against Wolves as well, who struggled in defense against Leeds. So I think I'm going to keep Bailey. But again, if you want to switch to a Bailey, you have options in the 5.5 or 6 million price category, guys. If you don't have any money, I think I'll possibly suggest you to hold that transfer, not make it just yet. You'll probably get some more information from this week. Maybe even after one game week, we can think about making the switch. But right now I'm keeping Bailey. I have a sub cover, so I'm pretty comfortable there. But in case if you have some money, in case if you want to take some chances, the Leeds options, you have Harrison, you have Rodrigo as well. I think Rodrigo is a better option in terms of goal threat, and I think he's possibly going to give you a little bit more in terms of scoring goals as compared to maybe a Harrison, for example, who might take somewhat of a Rafinha role in that Leeds setup, guys. So if, again, both of them are decent options, both of them are in the same price category. If you have 0.5, maybe you can even go for Aronson, right? So there are options, but again, with just 1 week of information, it's probably not enough. Now we have the 2 most explosive, most exciting FPL forwards in the game, guys. But again, are we really benefiting from them a lot? Because, I mean, right now in the game, almost everybody owns them. So I don't think so the advantage is huge. Of course, we can still all get FPL points, but I think going for Haaland and going for Jesus for this week looks very strong, guys. I mean, Leicester, as I mentioned earlier, they aren't really a strong defense. They might struggle to keep up with the pace of Jesus, Martinelli and Saka combined. And I think what I saw from Jesus in game week 1, at least in the first 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, I think that was enough to give me some idea in terms of he's going to be a good pick for Arsenal. So I think it's an easy hold. I don't, again, understand the excitement or the potential of people, trying to go for somebody else. The ownership is absolutely crazy. So you're probably going to end up losing a lot of ranks if he scores a couple of goals, maybe even if he scores a hat-trick, for example. Again, that can always happen. So we'll have to, kind of take that into account. Now we have Haaland as well. A lot of managers have already done that Kane to Haaland switch, and it's absolutely fair, guys. Even if you want to do it for a hit, I think it is an okay decision to take. I think there are a lot of FPL points to get here. And considering that he also could be the most popular captaincy option, I think he's definitely a transfer to get in your team. I personally don't have to make or don't have that headache because I already went for him in game week 1. Again, unlucky for a lot of Kane owners because Kane was always a great option to go for in game week 1. He was the logical pick, but it is what it is, guys. And Haaland, I think, is looking very good. He could really haul big, guys. I was really impressed by how he played against West Ham. He had big chances, his positioning, his overall play, everything was in line with how Man City play, how Man City think. I think it's going to be a great transfer. It's going to be a great game week for Haaland. At least, fingers crossed. Let's hope so. I think this is what we have in terms of our team, guys. Do let me know what you think about this team. we have a couple of bench options who can come on and always give us at least appearance points, if not more. But do let me know what you're thinking about your transfers. Do let me know what is your team and what is your dilemma for Game Week 2. Guys, in terms of our final transfer plan for this week, I think I'm going to hold that transfer, save that transfer for this week, and possibly get one more week of information unless we really get some idea or we get some news about a certain player maybe being benched. I think that's probably the only situation where we might have thinking of changing a transfer, and I'll keep you guys updated. But for now, guys, I think I'm going to save that transfer for this week. Now, talking about captaincy here, guys, we have two really popular captaincy options for this week. We have Haaland, who's playing Bournemouth at home. We also have Mo Salah, who's playing Crystal Palace at home. Guys, I think you can't really go wrong with either of the options. I think the casual players would probably go for Salah. I think the more involved or the more engaged managers might just tip towards Erling Haaland, guys, who's probably slightly higher FPL potential, point scoring FPL potential for this week. I think I'm also tipping a little bit towards Erling Haaland at the moment, guys. I think he's going to be my captaincy option for this week. Now, there are two reasons for that. I think what I saw from Erling Haaland in Game Week 1, I think he will get a lot of the chances. There is a great chance that he can come up with a brace, maybe even score a hat-trick. But I think he'll definitely get chances. I think the team is trying to play to his strengths. And I think that really spells good for Erling Haaland from an FPL perspective. Now, Mo Salah, again, he's also going to be probably the standout player for Liverpool. But I just feel Palace is probably the slightly tougher opposition out of the two. And I think there is a sneaky chance that we get a huge haul from Erling Haaland and maybe bet against the people who are going for Salah captaincy. So I think Erling Haaland and Salah both are really, really good options. I think you can go for your pick. I'm personally tipping a little bit towards Haaland right now. Now, in case if you want to go for differential options, guys, you can also go for differential picks from teams like Liverpool and Man City. I think both of them have the best fixture in Game Week 2, especially from a captaincy perspective. I think if you don't have the likes of Salah or Haaland and you have someone like a KDB, I think he's also a great captaincy option, guys. I think generally the way we've seen KDB play, I think he's going to drop a little bit deeper against tougher oppositions and against teams like Bournemouth, maybe other promoted teams, or maybe teams in the bottom half, guys. I think he's going to be a little bit more advanced. We've seen that he can play those passes, guys, and this probably would even enhance his goal scoring potential, and we've seen that he can also score goals. So I think KDB, if you want to go a bit differential, maybe a bit risky, I think you can go for him, but it is again a huge risk because Haaland is clearly the standard option among the two players, guys. You can even go for Darwin Núñez. I've seen a lot of people talking about Darwin Núñez, but the risk with Darwin Núñez is that you don't know if he's going to start or not. I mean, he's come off from the bench a couple of times now and he's really changed the game. So what's to say that he's probably not going to start against Palace at home? I mean, it's the first home game for Liverpool as well. And I think he'll be really looking up to it. So there is a chance that you can go for Núñez. But then again, you're letting go of players like Haaland, Salah and even Kevin De Bruyne who are probably better picks in this game week. Now, if you want to go really berserk, really crazy, guys, you can also go for Gabriel Jesus. But this pick comes up with a massive risk because I mean, there is a chance that maybe Leicester tries to defend a lot for majority of the game and Arsenal find it difficult to break down Leicester. So that's an absolute possibility. But I think if you already want to kind of take advantage of the massive ownership that Jesus has, because otherwise we're not really gaining anything out of him if he scores or if he returns, right? So if you want to double down on that advantage, on that all potential, I mean, you can absolutely go for him. But he's probably the most riskiest pick out of all these options mentioned to you. Do let me know who's your captaincy option for Game Week 2 in the comments below. So that'll be all from my side for this video, guys. Do let me know what you're doing with your FPL team for Game Week 2. We've also done a couple of other videos already in the week. We've done a players to target. So if you are looking at certain players to get in your FPL team, do watch out for that video, guys. I'll probably add the links in the description and also at the end of the video. If you like what you saw today, guys, make sure that you hit that like button. You can also subscribe for more FPL content, for more FPL updates from our side. Thank you for watching and I'll see you insaners in the next one.